Laughing Vikings Live. High vibe chats with actors, comedians, and creators, plus stand-up comedy, sketch comedy, and most importantly, you. That's right, join us every Monday for new episodes, and you can be a part of the show on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Twitch. Ask questions and interact in the comments, and make sure to share this with your actor, comedian, and creator friends so they can be a part of the show too. Can't make a live show? No problem. You can catch up on your favorite podcast platform and visit laughingvikings.com to find out how you can join the cast and crew. All right, it's time for today's show. Buckle up and make sure you stick around to the end because we have a special surprise for you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Laughing Vikings Live. Happy Monday Fun Day. Let's go. Oh, hey there, Brandon Knox.
Oh, hey there, Joe Lars Larson.
Did you know what today is?
It is a Wednesday, which means that it's time for Laughing Vikings Live.
Yes, and not just any Laughing Vikings Live. This is episode 93, or en français, 93, I believe, which is 420s plus 13. They do their math a little different en français. 93, 420s equaling 80 plus 13, or as Maple Leaf fans like to say, today is Doug Gilmour episode number 93.
You did it! You did it! Yay!
We're not gonna talk much about Doug Gilmour. It's not like this is gonna be an episode about Doug Gilmour, but if you were to be cataloging our episodes by hockey player numbers, today would for sure be Doug Gilmour Day. So welcome to Doug Gilmour. Classic Leaf 93. Man, him and Andrew Chuck. It was like there's not too many times in my life where I've been like on board the fandom, but those years I was, and it seemed like every time Doug Gilmour and Andrew Chuck were on the ice, it was like, oh, they're going to score. If they're ever behind, it's like, ooh, Gilmour's on. Oh, they're going to for sure tie this up. Gilmour's on. They're going to, how do they not score?
Best Leafs duos of all
Gilmour's
time.
on. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I always actually associate each episode with a hockey player. I just don't really say it out loud all that often, but I'm really glad you said it today. So thank you.
There you go. Yeah. I am to please. Yes. And we have a fantastic guest on the show today. We'll be getting to him in a few moments. He is a beloved Toronto actor. Actually, maybe not even Toronto. I think he's international. Certainly spent a lot of time in Vancouver and in Toronto. He's bi-coastal, as they say, east to west.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're going to have a great chat with him. Should we give it a hint? We'll give it a hint.
Okay.
He has the same name, or should I say Elvis Presley has the same last name as him. I believe his Instagram is The Only Presley as well. It's like, never mind Elvis Presley. You got to stick around for today's guest. Also a Presley, but the more well-known one.
Yeah.
There was Elvis Presley, of course, and Priscilla Presley. But then there's the Presley that we have on the show today. Way bigger. Way bigger.
I've told you that I was supposed to be named Elvis, right?
I don't know if you have.
Yeah, my parents were going to name me Elvis Ramon. Elvis Knox.
Ramon. Was that their two favorite bands? Like your mom was like, I like Elvis, and your dad was like, I like the Ramones. We will call our son Elvis Ramon.
My dad definitely likes the Ramones. And
because you don't look like Ramon's got a little bit of a Latin vibe to it. And you don't
I never knew where they got Ramon from. And
you don't look like Ramon.
No.
Maybe did your mom ever take salsa dancing classes and the salsa dance teacher's name was Ramon, so they weren't sure whether you were your dad's son or Ramon's son, so they're like, well, we got to name after him after his dad.
Maybe.
Am I taking too deep?
They didn't end up doing that. So
Mom, was I almost named after your dance instructor Ramon? Almost. This close.
Almost. This close.
This close.
This close.
Well,
and I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for your blasted kids.
Right. Now that we've talked about the important things off the top, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. You can subscribe to this. We've done 93 of these humdingers. So if you're an actor, comedian, filmmaker, go back into the archives. What do we do here? Well, our ultimate mission is to uplift, inspire, and empower a global audience of 1 billion people by helping actors and comedians tell their stories via TV, film, and live performances. So you can check us out at laughingvikings.com, and you can also follow us, as you know, at Laughing Vikings and at Actors Audition Club. You want to be in the club?
I want to be in the club.
You want to be in the club?
I'll be in the club.
You want to be in the club?
The club.
Speaking of the club, we should be announcing that we got a big day coming up in July. Is that right?
Yes.
Save the date, everyone. July 21st. It is Audition Hero 2.0. We did it last June, or no, not last June, last January, the winter June, as I like to call it.
Nice.
That is what they call it, the winter June.
It's what they're calling it now.
January. You mean June and winter?
Yes.
You know, they have
winter June,
Christmas in June, and then there's summer and winter. I don't know what I'm saying. But if you are an actor that has ever had any struggles with self-submit auditions, Audition Hero. I can't even speak right now. Audition Hero is the workshop for you. So what are we saying? If you've ever had an audition come through your agent and you have a little stress or anxiety about where am I going to film this? When am I going to film this? If you've ever had to drag your furniture around in your house to make a makeshift studio and you're stacking your camera on books and you're bugging your spouse to have to be the reader and do the lines with you, and they're like, oh man, I just want to live my life and let you go pursue your dreams. Why you got to be dragging me into your dreams? If any of that stuff's ever happened to you, if you've ever got one tight in a deadline where you're like, oh man, it's just so last minute, how am I going to get this done? If you ever miss the deadline, any of that stress, then Audition Hero is the workshop for you. We're going to do it live, and you can save the date, save your spot, go to laughingvikings.com/audition hero. There's going to be actors all over the world joining us. And if you were there in June or January, June, winter June, then you would have known that it was a fantastic event. And it's going to be even bigger and even better. And we're going to add some elements to it. It's going to be a whole experience. So make sure you're hooked up for that. Go to laughingvikings.com/audition hero. You remember that, Brandon? It was fun, right?
It was a great time. Everybody all over telling us where they're from, talking about auditions, hearing your stories.
Ooh, stories. Yeah. Stories were great. It's going to be great. And the end result of that is we're also opening the doors to Actors Audition Club. So for those of you who want to join us this go round, you can grab your spot at Audition Hero.
Grab your spot now.
It's another link. There's another link.
There's another one.
And there's
just for you
link just for you. Yeah, that's actually, you can hop on the early birds waiting list, so you'll be the first to notified when the doors do open, when we do our next enrollment. I know we've got a lot of people who've been using the studios and that we've been connecting with via Zoom that aren't yet members, so you can hop on the wait list and you'll be the first to get an email. You want to be first to get an email? I know you do.
Yeah, everybody wants to hear that ding,
right?
From there.
Everybody loves those notifications. You want a quick shot of dopamine when you realize there's something in your inbox?
Ding.
There you go.
There you go.
All right. We need to get to our guest here.
Yes, we do.
Enough of this. But all of that was important, but we also need to get to our guest. So you have a clip that you're going to roll, right?
Yes. Say the magic words, Lars.
Line.
Roll the clip.
Oh, right. Roll the clip. Roll the clip. Roll the clip.
Yeah.
Roll the clip.
Yeah.
Roll the.
Almost. You're almost there.
Line.
Roll the clip.
Clip. Clip.
Yeah,
Clip.
yeah,
Clip.
yeah.
Okay. Clip.
You got this. You got this. You got it. Come on. One more
Okay,
time. You got it there. Okay.
I'm gonna roll the R.
I'm gonna
roll
give you
as
an
well.
action. I'm gonna give you an action, Lars. You're gonna do the line. You remember the line?
Roll the
Class.
glass.
Clip.
Clip.
Oh, the clip.
Clip.
There you go.
Clip. Okay,
Yeah.
I got it.
Okay. Ready? And action.
Roll the clip.
I came to your work to surprise you with flowers because I wanted to apologize, that's all.
And you happen to be in the middle of nowhere.
I didn't know if you were in danger or if he was gonna
Why
hurt you.
I would be in danger?
Because you got into a car with someone I don't even know. And then I get there and he tells me everything.
What did you do to him?
Nothing, we just talked and he told me I'm okay.
What is everything?
What
did he tell you?
He told me that he got you the job at the spa.
And what's wrong about that?
You had a
this
relationship
is my past. There's
with
no
him.
relationship.
Yes, you did.
There is
you
no
sang at his restaurant.
relationship. There is nothing.
You
This
hung
is
out
my
with
past.
his kid.
Before
These
you.
are things. No, it doesn't matter. I
It
need
does
to know
matter.
these
This
things.
is my
Yes,
past.
I want to know these things because it
Why?
hurts me. You know it
This
hurts
hurts
me.
me
If the
more.
roles were different, you would be hurt too.
Okay.
Yes, you would.
So what's wrong with Andrew?
Actually, there's nothing wrong with him.
Why shouldn't he speak then?
Oh, he can speak. He could recite Shakespeare, do a backflip, and perform surgery all at the same time.
What are we trying to do here?
He just pretends to not listen, so we have no control over him.
I don't like this. The chairman of the health board is going to be sitting right next to you. We're going to get caught.
Not if we pretend to stop Andrew.
And what about Lily? How do you know her parents are going to choose Andrew? They could easily withdraw from the surgery.
I believe Andrew relieves them from having to make that choice.
This is going to backfire. How do we get away with something like this? The whole world is going to be watching us.
Show some concern. Pace a little. Yeah, just like that.
I can look concerned.
What are you doing here? Oh my goodness. What are you doing here? I thought, what's going on?
Well, someone sent me the link to the town's Christmas webpage.
Who sent you the link?
I don't know.
Who sent you the link?
But I told my boss I'm coming home for Christmas.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
welcome home. I'm gonna give you two some time to catch up. Get in here. Take your jacket off. Let's talk.
Gordon was really mad. Like, he pissed. He came in here and he started to shoot his mouth off about everything. He saw this movie the other day and how this guy in the movie, all right, we got compensation for going to taking a fall for some guy. And so he said that we did the same thing and that he deserved compensation for his time in prison. And then he started going on about being this country music sensation. And then he's going to move to Nashville and that he needed money to pay this record guy to do a demo for him.
You will be honest with me. How much money was there? Was it all of it?
Yeah?
There's not a pawn shop in town that's gonna want this crap! Why the hell would you even grab this? That's a nice frame! Not anymore. The hell did you say, buddy?
How primitive.
Hey, you dickless shit. We already killed one asshole tonight, and we'll gladly do it again! Hey, man. Please. I don't want to die.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, episode 93's guests. You may have seen him in Psycho Gorman. You may have seen him in Santa's Castle, all over Hallmark. And he's a regular here at Actors Audition Club, and he's here today for you in podcast form. Please give it up for Reece Presley.
Woo!
There he is.
Hey guys.
You got some great lines in that demo reel. You dickless shit. That was a good one. And the other one, I think my other favorite was what was it? Tell my boss I'm coming home for Christmas. Coming home for Christmas.
No job to go back to after that. It's
right.
It's either that or Christmas. That's it.
Right. You chose Christmas. You saved Christmas. How are you? Good to see you.
I'm great. It's good to see both of you. I didn't know you were going to be Elvis Ramone, Brandon.
Yeah, I was going to be an Elvis Ramone.
Bring back that thing. That's amazing. My uncle's name was Elvis.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Elvis Aaron Presley had the whole thing.
Is that the real? Is that
the real Elvis?
You have an uncle named the exact same name as the Elvis?
That's right. That's I do.
Wow.
Would not be further from the king himself.
What a weird life that must have been, because you would never get away from it. So it would always like bring some fun stuff, but then it's also like you're also never really able to have your own life free of Elvis Presley because you're named exactly like him.
I'm glad you brought that up. He had like one of the worst, I think, lives. Like just to not drag it all down, but he couldn't order a pizza, for example, because they were just like, "What's your name?" Elvis Presley. All right, well, click. So he had problems with that, and then he had problems with the law. Whenever they'd pull him over, a lot of times he didn't have his license on him. So, what's your name? Elvis Presley.
Right, right. They roughed him up for being a smartass.
Yeah, so he'd be in jail quite a bit because they'd lock him up and he'd do all that. And then he kind of went down that path himself. He was a special piece, that guy.
Yeah,
he changed his name to Shane eventually.
His parents
really?
maybe thought they were blessing him, but they cursed him. Man.
Oh, man.
The curse of Elvis Aaron Presley.
Curse of Elvis Aaron Presley.
Wow. Weird.
It reminds me of Workaholics with Mike Bolton.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
It was just like famous names or like even close to fame. It's just like, oh man, that would be
right.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to live up to.
That's got to be tough.
Got to see Austin Butler's portrayal of Elvis soon. Great.
See, you escaped, Brandon. You became Brandon Knox instead of Elvis Ramone.
Yeah, man, and that's a cool name, Brandon Knox.
Who knows? Who knows your Elvis Ramone?
Who knows? Yeah.
All right, Reece, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us here. We got lots to talk about. You're an actor. You and I have had the pleasure to work together on a couple things. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about your origin, how you got started. But first, are you ready, Reece Presley, for 1 minute life story? That's where you get 1 minute to tell Reece Presley's life story from whenever you want to begin to whenever you want to end. But you only got 1 minute to do it. Brandon's going to put the clock up here so you can see it. Ladies and gentlemen, no questions, Reece. We got to go into it. Don't overthink it.
It's counting up, by the way. The timer's counting up.
It's counting up. You ready for this? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Reece Presley's 1 minute life story. Go.
Okay. Grew up in Kingston, Ontario, Canada. Did a little bit of traveling as a kid. Realized I wanted to be an actor pretty early on. Got put in classes. Did not stick with it. Tried everything under the sun, from fighting to fighting to sports, and didn't really stick with anything. Left home for a little while. Left home when I was 16. Went studied in Kingston. Did my undergrad in commerce and economics, and I also have an accelerated MBA. And then I realized that was going to kill me, so I switched careers and moved to Toronto with nothing but a suitcase, and hopped around for the first 4 years from room shares, and then found places and finally got a footing there. And then pandemic hit and took off to the mountains in Vancouver for a couple of years, and went up there and changed, and now I'm back. And that is really the rough outline of my life at 56 seconds. Woohoo!
Boom.
Ding, 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 ding. That is correct. That was
there you go.
1 minute life story. Nailed it. I love, and so now we got to deconstruct some of that.
Yeah.
I love that you the idea of arriving to Toronto with just like a suitcase, and that's it. And were you coming specifically for TV and film at that time, or was it just, I'm going to go to the big city and figure my life out? Or was it, I'm going to the big city to make it in showbiz, Dad?
I think it was a little bit like that. I had my partner at the time, and she was like, you know, if you want to go, I'll help you get up there. But whatever could fit in a Toyota Echo, like those tiny little kind of cars, was all I had. And I just kind of came up and I found like a room share way out in Rogers and Dufferin area and lived with like 7 other people that I had no idea. And that's how I started the journey of trying to figure it out. And I could work TIFF and I would work these random hours. And then I found people that were like, oh, you should do this, and go here and try this and that. And the first like 4 years, I was kind of just bopping around the scene, just trying to get in.
Do you know any of those people that you've shared the room share thing? The Flophouse mates? Have you stayed in touch with any of them?
Yeah, actually. So he keeps showing up. This one guy, his name is Antonio. He's great. He's he literally, I've seen him everywhere, guys. Like he was in Vancouver. I shouldn't say he followed me to Vancouver, but he showed up in Vancouver, on the streets of Vancouver. He showed up when I went on vacation. He was just there. Like he's all over. So I can't escape this guy.
Nice.
What does he do?
I think he does wealth management is what
okay.
Does remote wealth management. But I remember one night I heard a knocking like from downstairs. I was at the top of the room. So I heard a knock downstairs. So I go downstairs, and he had the master bedroom, and the communal area was like the living room and the kitchen. And I heard like this, right? And I go down, and he's got a knife. He's got like the butcher knife, and he's just stabbing the wall with it, like this, like
red flag.
And I was like, "What's going on, man?" He's like, "Oh, you know, like you just gotta get it out sometimes, man." I was like, "All right." And then next week I was gone.
Right. I mean, better to be stabbing a wall than other things, but best to be stabbing nothing. Yeah.
I looked at it as I was like, I'm glad that that's that and not me, and we could have a conversation while he was doing it.
Oh, you know, just working some things out.
Yeah, that's right. See what he said.
Well, that's great, man. Like, yeah, keep stabbing that wall. Don't stab anything else, please.
Oh man, I have no idea. He must have been there a while, because the guys, I'm telling you, he was a dripping sweat. Like he was just like pouring, and he was really giving. He was really putting in the work. Whatever was going on there, he's working through it.
You sure he wasn't like installing an electrical outlet, so he had to like carve out some of the drywall or something?
If he was, that's a hell of a way to do it. I got it. There's something to do it.
He's just a misunderstood handyman with shabby skills.
I didn't get a quite good look at what he was doing, but like where the area he was hitting. But maybe he was really trying to carve out a niche for himself. No pun intended.
Yeah, the telltale was that the stabbing spelled out the words "die."
That's right.
Wall.
I might have been.
Yeah, you should have stayed to see the finished art piece, actually.
Yeah, I think that maybe that was definitely my loss. I think that's what he was trying to explain.
That's why he keeps showing up. Unfinished business.
Right.
and he looks
right.
Successful, so.
Yeah, I think we're writing a thriller starring Reece, where it's just like the original roommate or housemate, flatmate or something. Just you met him and early on he like lent you something and you didn't replace it, so he's always had this grudge. Like, remember when I lent you some milk and you never replaced it? And now he always and then you didn't join in his wall stabbing episode, and then so he's just gonna follow you around forever.
I think it writes itself, Lars.
Right?
That's
what we do here. That's what we do. Hey, Hollywood.
Mark Holland.
That's all we need to do. We just say, "Hey, Hollywood," and Mr. Hollywood rings us up. Usually takes about 72 hours. There's a little bit of delay.
Yeah, it's like it's got to cross some borders.
Yeah. It's got to get through customs. Yeah,
that's true.
All right, Reece. So I want to talk about your acting origins. What was the first thing that you ever did? So maybe back when you were a kid, a school play, community theater. What was the very, very first thing that you ever acted in?
The thing that I can remember that comes to mind was I was as a kid. I think it was like seven or eight, and we did a weird version of Titanic. Yeah, it was a stage version of Titanic. I know. I see you look at me and like, what? Yeah, it was a stage version of Titanic, and I can't remember much of it, but I was the captain.
Okay.
And I had the famous line of, they come up and they tell me that the iceberg is ahead. So I say, and they're like, should we go around it? And I was like, no, just go through it. So like full steam ahead. Let's go. And so I crashed the ship into the iceberg on purpose, and then the story kicks off from there. So that's how it goes.
Nice. The sweetest role in that is the kid who got to play the iceberg. Ooh, man.
It was perfect.
Talk about a winning role. Yeah,
definitely a step up from like a tree. Like the iceberg is really the pro antagonist in Titanic. So like,
yeah. It's like playing the Wicked Witch in Wizard of Oz.
Exactly.
You get to play. You might remember me in my Tony Award-winning performance as the iceberg from Titanic. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Come to think of it, everyone was congratulating that kid at the end. So maybe there's something to it.
Yeah, he stood his ground.
Yeah,
he stood his ground. Holding.
Can't say he doesn't know where his mark is because he hit it
every single night.
Every night.
Was that Titanic? Was that after the movie? Like, was it kind of like an adapted version of the movie, or was that pre-Titanic, the movie?
I think it's got to be like the same year.
Interesting. Yeah, you were riding Titanic fever that year.
Capitalize on that success.
So they're like, "What's hot?"
That's exactly it. He was probably just like, "Hey, man, like this is gonna bring people in."
Titanic's trending right now. Yeah.
Right, it's so hot right now, and bring it in.
Nice. Did you had a nice little captain's hat too? What grade was that? Do you remember?
I think it was grade like 8 or 9. I think grade 7 maybe. Does that sound right? Or am I too old for that? I don't know.
Grade 7, you'd be like what, 12, something like that?
12, yeah.
Like 4 or 5. Something around that. But I was in an outfit that would have fit like, I don't know, you're a pretty tall guy, Lars. So like a coat that would have fit you. I'm in it, and I'm basically swimming in this thing. Like
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's comedy.
So that was
comedy right there. Little Captain Kid.
Yeah, that's it. And they're like, "Oh, look at this guy trying to be a person."
Did they have like a cutout of a ship, and then like it like went along like a scrim or something, and then like we split it off? Is that how that worked?
They had like people kind of holding it and like these gags, and then, I was happy because I remember the only thing that was like a real prop that moved was the wheel.
Oh, nice.
Whoa. Hang on. You saying your elementary school didn't actually put this up in the icy waters of the Atlantic Ocean? Is that what you're telling me?
Wasn't put on location.
You didn't. This wasn't a location piece. Oh, commitment.
What kind of budget is this? Come on.
Oh, like icy waters of Lake Ontario.
Right. Yeah. Disaster. What a disaster. 11 kids got hypothermia on opening night.
They would have got more seats filled. I think that was the selling point.
Nice.
Yeah, you could pay extra for seats on the boat. You want to watch from the boat, or do you want to watch from the shore?
People will be like, you know what?
I really want the full Titanic experience. So
okay, it sinks, right? You know the ending of this.
Oh yes. Oh, 100%.
Here, put this raincoat on. It's like when you go to see.
Isn't there a show that has a bit that's like, okay, get on this boat. It's gonna split. It's the Titanic remake, and like everyone gets like a door or something that they can float on.
Where is that?
I feel like that's in a show or something, or a sketch.
We'll never
I don't know. I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm gonna
wish
have
I
to look that up later.
Viewers at home, listeners at
Please.
home. So Reece, moving on. So you obviously nailed it. You caught the acting bug as captain. You're like, oh, I could say full steam ahead. I could get used to saying full steam ahead. What was, fast forward, what was the first thing that you'd call professional where someone paid you money to do it?
First paid gig was a short called Vagabond in 2014 in Toronto.
Nice. A lot of short films don't pay, so good for them.
Yeah, no, they paid, and like at the time, I thought I was killing it because it was paid, and I paid like $200 a day for like 4 days. I was like, this is it. This is what life is. Like this
Living
is
a dream. Yeah.
This is it. And it required me to like lay down in like a white tank top in the snow, like in winter June, as you would call it. So I was half in, half out.
It's catching on, Brandon. It's catching on. That's great. Wow. So you earned it. You earned that $200.
I really felt it, and I thought I was acting. Like I was like, this is what it is, like to lay down in the snow for 12 hours
right.
a day.
Were you a dead body? Why were you in the snow?
I was like because like maybe I was like the main antagonist, I guess, but most of it was me just kind of dead at the end. Being a short film, they really had to wrap that up.
Right.
And then they had a couple romantic scenes over my body, I guess.
Over your dead body. That's nice.
It was cool.
Wow.
I was with it.
There's not many people that get paid to have other people have a romance scene over top of their dead body. I mean, that's got to be a bucket list accomplishment somewhere, right?
Right off the top too.
Yeah,
nice.
we live weird lives, huh? The things we do. One of my two of my favorite acting experiences in my life and in my career have happened with you there on set as well. I think we first met in person, Reece, on set of We Came to Wreck Everything, which was an indie feature film, still in post-production, because I think they're just tweaking it, making it better and better and better. But we shot it in 2017, so this is it's coming on 5 years, so it's been a while. But that was one of my favorite all-time experiences. The cast and crew there was amazing. The script was amazing. Every shot, if you were watching the dailies or watching the monitor, shout out to Alex Caju, the director, and Spacing on the Cinema. Dimitri, the cinematographer, was great. He was just like a mad scientist with just how perfect he was. Yeah, that was super fun. Remember the Murder Quarry?
Oh,
not to give anything away, but there's a scene in a quarry, and we nicknamed it the Murder Quarry because it was that kind of vibe. Those were nice.
Coming out in you came out, you were dressed in like a suit, I believe, and you had this massive gun. And I was like, man, that is a formidable guy. That was like the first time we met each other was in the Murder Quarry.
Yeah,
we met each other.
I was a henchman. I was one of the big boss man's henchmen. Again, you'll have to watch it. We Came to Wreck Everything. It's going to be great. The script was amazing. The shoot was amazing. Yeah, big giant like assault rifle style, which I would never want to have. Like I'm so anti-gun, but the second you're an actor, you're like fucking cool. I got gun fever. Like we all have gun fever on set. They were all just like told, none of them were firing. They were just all dummies for camera, but still felt cool. I'm like, hey, look at me, huh? Yeah. And the other one was Fire Girls with Think Feel Productions, who was written and directed by Chell Steven, who was in a podcast guest very early on. I think she was episode 13, 14, 15, somewhere in there. And fun fact, Reece made a cameo in that because that was an early pandemic when we shot that episode with Chell, and Reece popped on to the Zoom call and we had a little convo there. So he Zoom bombed us and joined our lunch. And so technically this is your second appearance on the podcast.
Yeah, this would be.
You've joined a very small class of repeat visitors and repeat guests. So look back. And actually, that Chell Steven episode is one of our most listened and most watched episodes. People love Chell. So
Well, Shell's unreal, man.
At some point, that episode went a little semi-viral, and like, if you look at our downloads and listens, there's this big spike on Shell's episode there, and we're like, what happened there? Like that must have been when she was in the press very quickly, or like a big release. But so Fire Girls, you want to let's share that Fire Girls story, because one of my favorite all-time stories.
It is one of my favorite all-time stories too. So
right.
I mean, I'll kick it off, and then you feel free to.
Okay, go ahead.
But so guys, Lars and I were in Fire Girls together. Lars had the pleasure of working with Chell before, by the way. So just touch base on Chell Stevens. She's a visionary. She's incredible. Her work is like eye-catching, eye-popping, and I just want to see more of everything.
So fun to work with. She's just like so positive, but also like she's the perfect mix of being so fun and so positive, but also really like, we got to get shit done and get to work. Like she's half cheerleader and half general. Her sets are so fun.
She's an actor's director. I don't say that about many. Like, she knows what we need, and she lets us do what we want. Lars and I had a lot of fun. The last night we had a workshop with a prominent casting director here in Toronto. Am I allowed to say who it is? Are we allowed to say names?
Sure. Yeah.
Melissa A. Smith. We had a casting workshop with her down in Milestones, but we're filming in Kingston. I guess the other side of Kingston.
Yeah.
It's about 2.5 hours away. You know what? I'm going to let Lars kind of go from that, because I actually slept most of this.
Yeah, this is the part where Reece went to sleep. So we had signed up for the casting director workshop before like maybe a month or two before we got cast in the short, or at least before scheduling happened. So we had 2 overnight shoots, overnight on a Friday night leading into Saturday morning, and overnight on a Saturday night leading into Sunday morning. And so we shot until like, I feel like we got wrapped at 4:30 a.m. Sunday a.m. And we had to get back to Toronto to this casting workshop for a 9 a.m. start. So basically, like, in the best of scenarios, we're going to drive for 2 hours, maybe get 2 hours sleep, and then go do this casting workshop, which isn't ideal for your body and your energy, but it's just the way it worked out. And both of us were excited, and we weren't going to bail from either things. So it's like 5:30 in the morning. We're on the 401 heading east back to Toronto. Reece is sleeping. I 100% like, not to, I gave, like, you know, as a passenger, you always want to stay awake. You don't want to be the guy that falls asleep. But I'm like, go ahead, just sleep. I'll drive. It's all under control. And then he wakes up. Reece wakes up to me pulling off to the side of the highway going, I think we got a flat tire. And he's thinking like, are you fucking with me? Like, are you pranking me right now? Is this just a haha Lars gag? But we had blown a flat tire, 5:30 in the morning. Literally, the sun is rising behind us. Barely anyone on the highway. And I don't have a spare in that car, but I have one of those, it's like a, what do you call it? Like a aerosol bottle of vulcanized rubber that fills up your tire and seals it at the same time. So, but the tire was like not in good shape. So we fill it up, but it's all like bulbous and it's not even round anymore. Like when we're driving, it was like click clunk, click clunk, click clunk. And so, but so it's like, now it's like 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m. We have a total fucked up tire. And so we figure out a plan. Like, there's no Ubers out there. There's no public transit where we were. We're in the middle of nowhere. And so we figure out we got to get to the GO station, the train station. So we drive 60 kilometers an hour for an hour on the side of the highway, like on the shoulder, because we couldn't go at max speed with the tire. Limp into the train station, grab GO tickets, still have like another hour on the GO station, get to Union Station, and then just get to the casting place like in time for them to open the door and let all the actors in, and then tell everyone this harrowing story of how we got it. But what I love about that is I don't think anywhere in either one of our minds we were not getting to the casting workshop. We could have easily just been like, oh, hey, we have a flat tire. We're 2 hours out of town. We haven't slept. It's been an overnight shoot. Let's kibosh this. Can you please give us a refund or hold a credit to the next thing? But that never happened. Neither one of us. We were just like, we're fucking getting there. It became like a movie in our own, like a real life movie where like, am I in a movie right now? And it's me and Reece trying to get to this casting workshop. It was like we were on a mission, man. And I remember we were running lines too. On the train, we were running lines because we had been assigned scenes. So you don't want to show up and not have your shit together. It was the first meeting with this casting director, but it was I was always really proud of that because I felt that demonstrated for both of us the commitment level and dedication to show up for something. And from a casting director standpoint, you're going to hire a professional. You can't not show up to the shoot or to their rehearsals or to their like a wardrobe fitting. And I felt the signal that we sent to her was like, oh shit, if we book these guys for something, they're going to fucking get there no matter what. So kudos to our sense of adventure. I'm just going to pat myself on the shoulder for that one right there.
That was way better than I could have explained it. So it was so fun. And first of all, there was like a half an hour where it was like, we're fucked and we don't know what to do. Like I'm looking up, we're getting shitty cell reception, trying to figure out where the train stations are, trying to figure out if we can get a tow. I remember I had a buddy who lived maybe about a half an hour out there. So I'm calling him or texting him and waking him up at like 6:30 a.m. to see if he's available to bail us out, which he was not. He was in another city, so he couldn't help. So it was like all of these things. It was against all odds that we made it. And that's why it felt good. So the lesson is, it's the same thing. Do you ever just miss a streetcar or a bus? And there's that moment where it's like, should I just stop and let it go and get the next one? Or do I chase it? But you're in that weird, and then you realize, oh shit, if I had it hit a red light and I would have caught it. It was like that moment. Never don't run for it. Always go for it. That's the lesson. Yeah, it definitely was, I'm going to say like kind of what Lars said, like a defining moment for me that was like, okay, this is serious now. Like I take this. Not that I wasn't taking it seriously before, but like all this is gonna happen. I'm still gonna show up and like do this thing that I call my career and my pursuit.
Right. Yeah. And happily show up, not like begrudgingly like, oh fuck, we're so cursed. Like it was just like, okay, we're here. Like I think we had emailed her saying like we might end up being a little late. This is what happened. So she was in the loop of it as well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, me too. It was one of those things where it's like you can tell how much it's like Tom Todoroff always says to us, love takes time, love makes time. And you can tell what you really care about and by what you fight for and what you make time for. And we could have easily been like, this isn't going to happen. It's totally reasonable. Like the reasonable thing to do would have been, this is a write-off. We're not going to get any sleep. We're 2 hours away. That's what would have been reasonable. But we're like, I feel like artists and actors and comics, they're not really reasonable people. Otherwise, you'd be doing reasonable things instead of these ridiculous things. Yeah, fun times. Fun time.
It was a lot of fun, Lars.
Let's make a movie about that sometime.
We get so many scripts we gotta work
Good
on.
script. We'll have to punch it up a little bit. We need a few more obstacles, maybe some wild animals that attack us, or maybe the flat tire happened because we crashed into a swamp filled with alligators or something that we had to get out.
Brandon can be the nefarious tow truck driver that actually doesn't give us a tow.
Just takes us in the middle of nowhere and robs us.
Can't help you.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Got to keep moving.
That's right. With that tire, no.
Right.
Got to get this bale of hay over to Toronto Stat.
Yeah, I'm not on the clock till 8 a.m. But you're here right now. Just give us a tow. Not on the clock. Yes. All right, we got more questions for Reece though. What's next?
So Reece, this is a two-part question. Why did you start investing in your auditions, and why do you think it's important to invest in your auditions?
Oh well. Why did I start investing in my auditions? Like takes the guesswork out of it, takes the stress out of it. When I go to, like, for example, I use your studio quite a bit, and I absolutely love it. I come in and like I work with you, Brandon, a lot, and sometimes with Lars. And you guys, like, first of all, you're both actors, so you get it. You have a fantastic setup. I don't have to worry about the editing or the lighting or the sound. That's just the technical stuff. But it allows me a greater sense of play when I go in and work and invest that. Not necessarily just monetary time, monetary, but like the time and the commitment as well. Like Like I just can come in and now have a lot of fun, rather than do stuff off the cuff at home by myself. I don't really have like a huge setup at the moment, so I think it's important that if you can find a place that you really enjoy, the comfort comes in there, and you just puts you at ease, like the easiness of it. Does that make sense? I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh,
it makes 100%. I mean, that's the main reason that you want to have a setup. You want to have an easy setup at home or a go-to scenario where when you get an audition, you're excited to shoot it and you know how. Not it's just like, oh my God, when am I going to do this? When's the deadline? Where do I set up? Who do I bug? Who do I call? How do I rehearse all this stuff? It's like all that mental noise is not good. What you want to do is just focus on, okay, I need to learn the scene, make some strong choices, and then just go to the room and play and have fun and deliver the goods as you do. And you've been booking lately too. Congrats. You've been booking some big things lately. So
thanks, guys. Yeah. Because going back to like coming into your room and working with you guys, like because that's something great to say. Like there's so many people doing tapes now. Like that's all it is. It's just self tapes. There's barely in the room. So if you're not putting your best foot forward in that regard, you're immediately going to get you're going to look at that and be like, no, okay, can't see them, can't hear them, and they look like they're stressed, so I got to move on. When I come and work with you guys, the play, oh, just try this. Okay, now we have fun. We just stress free, and the auditioning is, I mean, I'm stealing this from some famous actors, but the auditioning is the work, and of course, getting on set's the reward. So when you come in and invest in your auditions, you're investing in the work. That's your overhead. And then you come in and you are going to work for that 3 to 5 minute scene that you're working on, and you're showing a part of the human condition that they want to see, and hopefully it's real. And it's only going to be real when you are relaxed and having fun with the people you're with. I think.
Nice. Yeah. And shout out to you, Reece. One thing that I'm sure Brandon noticed it as well, but I've always noticed it when working with you is you come in really well prepared. Obviously you are coming in to have fun and to have, with a sense of play, but also you take it, there's a certain level of seriousness. Like you take it like an athlete takes game time. So you come in really well prepped. You've made strong choices. You know the scene, you know what you're fighting for, you know the relationship, you got a sense of place for eye lines. Like you come in ready to rock and knowing what you're doing, like it would be a live audition as well, which is easy to work with. So good. And I'm sure that's a big reason why you have been consistently working and consistently booking, because and I think that how that translates too is in your work, it's very rare that I'll hear a line coming from you that doesn't sound true, or sometimes you say things yourself where you're like, oh, that felt fake or put on or forced, but you invest a lot of yourself, I think, into your roles to the point where the words coming out of your mouth, you feel them and they actually land and they feel a certain degree of not naturalistic, because I know you're also a performer too, but just I buy it. You know what I mean?
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's easy to do when I'm working with you guys. And it doesn't mean to keep pumping your tires like that, but like it is easy. It just comes off the cuff with you guys.
Yeah, and really, that's what we want. We want here at Laughing Vikings. We want you to come in and have fun and have that sense of play and find that for your performances. And when you do come in so well prepared and ready to rock, and you've prepped like this is a live audition, after that, like it's just fun and it is just play, because now we can experiment. And that's where really everything comes in. Like once you know what you want to do, everything is downhill from there, and it's great. You're just riding. It's awesome.
It's a lot of fun. I'm going to name drop real quick here. I remember coming into the studio very recently, actually. Chris Sanford was walking out of the room, and I'm like, oh, shit. Fucking Chris, he goes here, so I got to up my game, man. Like, if he's here, then, I can't be coming in unprepared. So that was a big thing for me, too. So wherever he is, I'm glad he's killing it right now.
Yeah, shout out to Chris. We just shared a post on our Instagram today that was announcing that he's one of the leads of a new series called Shelved as well. A library themed comedy series that he auditioned for here. We worked with him on that. And yeah, Chris is just riding a wave of momentum from one booking to the next. And a big part of that is he does put a lot of time and energy and effort into his prep and into his auditions, but he also has a lot of fun. Like if you've ever, and you can speak to that, Brandon, like he's always coming in, willing to play, willing to have fun, willing to take suggestions. And it's like it's not really a stressful thing for him anymore. I don't think. It's just come in and do his takes and have a lot of fun. And then he books like crazy. So yeah, some good mojo. Some good mojo in here.
Oh man, is it ever? He wouldn't remember this, but we went to high school together, actually. Chris.
Who did?
Chris and I. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I think he was a year older than me or something like that. But he did a film club there with teacher James Talon that he would know very well, and I know. And, some of Chris's earlier stuff just absolutely slayed even back then. So I mean, he always had it.
Wow, that's going to be like that'll be a nice wiki note or a couch segment on the Tonight Show. You'd be like, fun fact, is it true you also went to high school with Chris Sandiford? You're like, no, Chris Sandiford went to high school with me.
Be like, who's that guy? Yeah, the guy that was in the dumpster in the back always getting beat up. That kid.
Right. Yeah.
That's me, Chris. Yeah.
Reece, as we start to take this Titanic ship around icebergs back safely into harbor, hopefully, what's a dream project that you aspire to create or be a part of?
Oh well, I'm working on. I mean, I'm starting to work on one right now. It's like a kind of like a dark country Odyssey type. I mean, okay, you guys gamers? Do you guys game?
I don't too much. Brandon does a little.
I do a little bit.
The inspiration behind this is there was a game it's an obscure game called The Hunt 2 Showdown. It's like a bounty hunter. Only played it one time. But there was...
but it left an impression.
I now want to do everything about it. But the lead designer and like the composer or something, they made a band. Of songs in the game, and then of course that took off because they were actually really good musicians, and that is an odyssey that inspires this kind of thing, which is the dream thing would be to be the kind of a man with no name that goes through these the rotten south of I guess it could be the unnamed south, so like New Orleans and Virginia and things like that, on a tale of redemption. And what does he need to redeem from? It's past mistakes that I'm currently working out myself, but just throwing what I feel I had to work on as me and bring it into that kind of character.
Would it be modern day or would it be a period?
It'd be period. It'd be the idea is that we've kind of regressed back to more
post-apocalyptic.
Yeah,
that's fucking cool. I love post-apocalyptic.
That's how it would be. But there'd be guys like yourself, right? Like you would show up, and of course, all the supporting characters would have the bigger parts, where the man with no name is just kind of going through these things and showing up, and then all this stuff that takes place. So.
Nice. I like that.
Right.
Yeah, it should be interesting. I'm really going to try and get it off, but it's going to follow my own journey of what I feel I need to come back from, I guess.
In this world, because I'm kind of interested in this world now. Would it be more swords or would it be more guns? Would it be what kind of system?
Gunslingers, kind of like old
gunslingers.
West,
so more Wild West or nice. Okay.
With a bit of a different code to it too, so you're not just going to get gunned down, but you can go hand to hand as well if that happens. Still writing up rules to it, but yeah.
Nice. Okay, cool. I like it. I like this.
I got someone that's hooked.
That's good. I love post-apocalyptic, like Book of Eli, Mad Max, like all those movies. I fucking adore them. So yeah, I've been going through a sci-fi. I have a list of sci-fi films that I want to go through, and so that's what I'm working on right now.
Well, that's great. I love all that's huge inspiration. But if you guys want to hear the songs that I was talking about, the band is called Port Sulphur Band.
Okay.
I don't know their handle or anything, but like definitely listen to that, and that'll give you an idea.
Say it again.
Port Sulphur Band.
Port Sulphur Band.
Yeah, like kind of like Port Hope, but Port Sulphur.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right.
Pumping
Nice.
Whoa. All right. We one more thing before we head off, Reece. What advice would you give to your past artist self? So that could be person. Maybe you're talking to the person that had just moved to Toronto, out of that Toyota. What would you say to them?
I'm gonna say it's okay to slow down, man. Take it slow. You can slow down and trust that it's gonna. You know, I just was the loudest person in the room, and I was doing all of these things. And I think if it's okay to be slow, and you're gonna make mistakes, and that's okay too.
Mm-hmm.
That's my advice, and to just kind of go through it and not beat yourself up about it too much.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a hard concept to wrap your head around, right? Because we always have this internal timeline in our head that we're supposed to have that condo or have that house and have that white picket fence and by 30 or whatever. And like, really, there is no timeline, especially in this industry, because you never know.
Yeah, you know, it's so. But even just kind of like with life, up until very recently, I had to figure it out for myself. Yeah, that's what I would say to anybody, not even just my past self. Like, you know, it takes time, and it's okay to enjoy the ride, enjoy the process, and don't worry about making mistakes because it's going to happen, and that's what helps you get to the next level.
Very true. Love that. Snaps for that.
Snaps for that. Yes. We're going to talk a little bit about Comedy Alley, yeah?
Yes, we do. So,
Comedy Alley.
Lars, what's going on in Comedy Alley this week?
Well, Brandon, hang on one second. I just got to bring it up so that I don't have to remember. Stand by.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ask me that again, Brandon.
Hey, Lars, what's going on in Comedy Alley this week?
Ooh, I'm glad you asked. This Friday, July 1st, you ready for this? You've seen her at Just for Laughs. You've seen her at Winnipeg Comedy Festival and JFL 42, Natalie Norman. But that's not all. You've seen him at Just for Laughs at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival and also the Halifax Festival, Nick Beaton. But that's not all, Brandon. You've heard her on Sirius XM. You've seen her at Corner Comedy Club, Stephanie Neal. And of course, I'll be there hosting, and we'll be playing everyone's favorite alley game show, Die of Joy.
Die of Joy. Die of joy. Die of joy. Die of joy.
Grab tickets at laughingvikings.com/comedy alley. Go, go, go. Only 20 seats available per show. How's that? Nailed it.
Great.
Huh?
That was great, Lars. Now, right. Lars, I have one more question for you pertaining to Saturday's show at Comedy Alley. Who is performing on Saturday this week in Comedy Alley, Lars?
Well, Brandon, I'm so glad you asked, because this Saturday, July 2nd at 8 p.m. here in Comedy Alley, you've seen him at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. You've seen him on Out TV and the Nubian show, Cliff Knight, everyone. You've also seen this guy on CBC, and you've seen him on Zoo Fest and JFL 42, Patrick Hakeem. That's right.
And you've seen this guy on CBC, on Vice TV, and Puzza Fest, Jeremy Dobsky. And you've seen this guy at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival and the Nubian Show, Matt Henry. Of course, I'll be there hosting, and we'll be playing everyone's favorite alley game show, Die of Joy.
Joy.
Die
of
joy.
joy. Die of joy. Die of joy. Die of joy. Joy. Die of joy. Die of joy.
You can grab tickets. Go to laughingvikings.com/comedy alley. Go, 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 go. All right.
You can't help but feel good after that.
Right? Everyone loves it. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Grab those tickets. And speaking of the comedy world, there's something that we would be remiss if we didn't mention this. We all love comedy and we all love comedians, and sometimes the worst things happen and one of them passes away. Very recently, just this week, beloved comedian in the Canadian and international comedy community, Nick Nemiroff, passed away at the young age of 32, way too soon. He was one of those people who refer to him as a comics comic. Everybody loved him on the circuit. When he was performing, you'd stop what you were doing and go watch him. And it's always sad anytime any comedian dies, because it's like, this is a person who dedicated their life to bringing joy to other people, who is no longer with us to do that. But a second wave that always really hits me profoundly is knowing that, like, the ripple effect in the comedy world, like this week here in Toronto and in Canada and Montreal, where he's from, and again around the world, there's like hundreds, if not thousands, of comedians feeling the weight and sadness of losing one of their brothers or sisters. So it's this extra like sad thing where all these people who are just these unicorns of joy are all feeling the heavy weight. So shout out to Nick Nemiroff. Something about him too, that he was so special because he was so unique. His timing, he had the slowest, most meticulous deadpan timing. He was a master of misdirection. He really played with the art of stand-up too. Like, what he was doing on stage was often very different than everyone else in the lineup. He always stood out. Fans, when you saw him, you instantly became a fan of him. Yeah, he just had this brilliant mind. Off stage, he's this really kind, loving, really sweet guy too. So again, shout out to Nick Nemiroff, to all his family and all his friends. He'll be sorely missed. Rest in peace. And we're gonna play a clip.
I just got a little kitten. Aww. His name is Butter. Aww. I took Butter to the vet recently, not because he was sick or anything, just because, you know, free healthcare in Canada. And the vet really liked Butter too. The vet was like, "Oh, what a confident little guy." I said, "Yeah, he gets it from his daddy." And the vet said, "What?" I said, "Nothing, never mind." The vet said, "Oh, his testicles are growing in. That's very good." I said, "So that's what those are, okay." The vet said, "You know, typically at this age and this maturation level, we would recommend you get him neutered if you're interested. That would cost about $300. So I told the vet that I have a 20. And I'm not saying I'm a master negotiator, but I'm very happy to announce tonight that for just $20, Butter is circumcised. It's important to me because now we can be buried in the same cemetery. I should say it's not just because I'm Jewish, it's because I want to be buried in a pet cemetery.
Oh man, gone way too soon. Nick Nemiroff. Look up his Conan appearance. Look up his Just for Laughs appearances. He was most recently on Roast Battle Canada, and his very first debut comedy album was a Juno nominee. I believe it was called The Pursuit of Comedy Has Ruined My Life. Just a gem of a human, a gem of a comedian. So thank you, Nick, for all the laughs.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us this week. Reece, thank you for joining us this week. We love all of you. We appreciate you all as well. Please like and subscribe. We will see you all next Wednesday. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
Bye. Thank you, Lars and Brandon.
Thanks, Reece. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Love you guys. Yeah, and if there's a lesson to when you lose someone, just remember to be grateful for every day. Life is precious, life is fragile, and it can be fleeting. So tell the people you love that you love them, and just go get it. Carp that fucking diem.
Love you both.
Love you both.